Hi everyone, welcome back to Function Pilates. I'm Vanessa Kelly and I'm going to walk you through today a restorative tower workout. It has been the second most favorite workout on this channel, which is our restorative reformer workout, and it includes just stretching and realignment and just a sense of zen with a lot of breathing, a lot of just relaxation. So I want to take you through movements on the tower unit, and I am using a balanced body piece of equipment. I'm going to incorporate just a couple exercises using the foam roller. It's not like you have to have the foam roller to do this workout. And if you're new to the channel, please feel free to check out some of the other equipment workouts we do have. And if you do like a workout, please hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and make comments on stuff that you would like to see. I do take that into appreciation and want to help deliver those types of workouts to you. So if you're ready to get started, let's go ahead and start relaxing. Let's go ahead and begin by organizing our tower unit where the springs should be placed. I have on the long yellow springs, which are basically the lighter leg springs for our arm series later. And then I also have the heavy leg springs, which are purple, on the bottom with the loops already attached to them. So as you can see, the yellow springs are on the eyelets in the center, and then the purple springs are on the eyelets, about the third one going up. And then I'm going to go ahead and organize the foot bar so that we are prepared to go into our footwork series here in just a moment. So it is bottom loaded, and I'm putting on just one red spring, which is one heavy spring for the tower. But when we do footwork, this will feel actually quite comfortable and not heavy at all. When you're ready, go ahead and lie on your tower, grab your foam roller if it's close to you. Otherwise, if you don't have one, just go ahead and take a hook line position here where you're lying on your back and your knees are bent, and just start to relax and settle in. You can take your arms beside you, or if you'd like to hold on to the foam roller, that's also another option. We're going to begin with cervical nods here. So carefully massage the back of your skull by lifting your chin up towards the ceiling, dropping your chin way down close to your chest, and find a rhythm here. Find a flow that feels really comfortable and natural for you. And then as you're going through this, begin to really relax those shoulders and just take a moment to check in with yourself and capture your breath. Just allow those thoughts to loosen up and just really focus on the breath cycle here. When you're ready, begin to nod your head from left to right. Just find a comfortable placement with your head on the foam roller and just begin to massage left to right here in a very slow position. Just letting those arms relax beside you, just softening your eyes, letting them roll on back behind your head. Then carefully from the center, turn your head to the left and begin those cervical nods once more. So you're dropping your chin towards your chest and you're lifting your chin up towards the ceiling. And it should feel a little deeper, a little bit more intentional here on that left side of the head. Again, just finding a nice rhythmic breath. When you're ready, you can take it to the other side. And I would say anywhere from 6 to 10 repetitions is really good to start with. Our goal is to create circulation here in the head, just some nice movements as we relax all those overactive muscles in the back of the neck. And then when you're ready, come through center and gently place that roller off to the side. And then go ahead and scoot your body down so that your hips are directly underneath that foot bar, and then place your toes on the foot bar and send it all the way up to the ceiling. Let's begin with our toes on in a parallel position and just begin to walk it out again at a very comfortable pace for yourself. Especially if you have tight hamstrings, you'll want to go a little bit slower, as this will definitely get right into the back of those legs here. And just prancing it out, articulating through the ankle and exercising all of your toes. Perfect. And then from here, let's soften both knees towards the chest and stretch them back up towards the ceiling. So make a conscious effort to keep your tailbone heavy and grounded in the mat and not allowing those hips to rise up as you bend your knees. It can easily be done. And pressing up, just soften your breath. Use a long exhalation to extend those legs. And then gently right into some consecutive calf raises here, keeping those toes on the bar, flexing and pointing through the ankle. Again, doing what works best for you, but try to go through full range of motion. Heels together, toes apart. Make sure your heels are in front of the strap so they don't get caught. And then soften your knees, allowing your knees to go as wide as your shoulders and stretch your legs up. Beautiful. So again, it's a lighter weight. It should feel somewhat good for you. If you have tight hips, again, you don't have to go very far. And then let's go out to a nice wide position. Toes are still on. And soften the knees down maybe a little bit more than the previous foot position. Again, just notice your breath getting longer as you exhale out and taking a long breath cycle as you bring in that inhalation. And then from here, again, prancing it out at your own comfortable pace, pausing in the center and then alternating to the other side. Your head's getting heavy into the mat and your shoulders are just dropped away from those ears, expanding from wall to wall, creating a large smile with your collarbone. Perfect. Let's come back to the center here with your toes on and then just run it out here. What feels nice and comfortable and a good steady pace. And then just go ahead and do a manual stretch as you pull that bar in towards you, clasping your foot on the outside of the bar. And then very carefully, let's bend those knees and return the foot bar back down. So let's go ahead and come up to a seated position here. And then carefully go ahead and lie yourself down on the mat for our monkey stretch. So take your head all the way to the back of the mat here, especially if you're a little bit tighter through those back of the legs. And we're gonna begin with toes on, nice and wide with the hands in the very center of the foot bar. Push on up, stretch those legs, curl your head and chest, press the back of those knees away from you, and just notice how much it deepens into the belly of the hamstring here. And breathe. Good, lower yourself down. So if that feels good, just stay there. We're gonna go into another variation where the toes are a little bit narrow. So the feet are more narrow, but the hands are on the outside of the feet, and press up and back down. So this one's a little bit more challenging. So do the best you can. Pressing up, nice deep stretch, exhale out, and then lower back down. So keeping one foot on parallel, stretch that leg up on its own, and the opposite leg is lying down straight, or if you do have any low back discomfort or this doesn't feel good with the leg straight, go ahead and bend that knee. Good, one more time here to press and lower everything back down. Onto the other side. Deep breath here and press up. Good. And 2. Shoulders down. One more time. And then carefully relax everything down. Very nice. Go ahead and come back up, and we're gonna go ahead and take our foot bar, our spring away, and we're gonna set ourselves up for more of an arm series here to get a little deeper into the shoulder blades and loosen some of that tension up. So if you have a foam roller, go ahead and grab that roller again once your foot bar is out of your way, and then place it on the mat vertical. And it's going to be at a distance here when you're lying down that your arms are going to be overhead, or up towards the ceiling, I should say. So once you're ready, lie yourself down vertically, making sure your tailbone is supported by the foam roller and your head is also supported by the roller. So scoot yourself down when you're ready, grab a hold of those handles. Make sure you feel comfortable. Feet are grounded. And then arms up towards the ceiling here. So from this position, find some tension, just some light tension into those springs, and then open wide to a T, just getting that chest open. Feel the stretch in your pectoral muscle. Just getting some range of motion through the shoulder. And if this is too much, just go back to the point where it feels comfortable for you. Again, feet are grounded and flat. Your neck is staying long. And then return back up. Go nice and wide into those goalpost arms and bend at the elbows and straighten it back up. Again, I don't have a ton of tension on here. I'm just gently pressing against the handles. So unless you are wanting a little bit deeper of a workout, I would recommend just being really light on those handles here. And do some single arm here as you open up through that shoulder, stretch back up to the ceiling, bend that left elbow, reach behind you at an angle, and then return up. Let's try that again a couple more times. Bend the right elbow, reach behind you, bend, straighten those arms towards the ceiling. The left elbow bends, stretch behind you. It's almost like the springs kind of naturally want to pull you in that direction. And back up. And one more on that left side. Good. And then from here, go ahead and bend your elbows into the goalpost arms. And then let's go ahead individually push down right and left. So just enough to feel the work in your shoulder blade. The goal isn't to press down all the way. So you're gonna feel that resistance where you can't go back down any further, and that's okay. Really focus on what's happening between your shoulder blades. And when you're ready, go ahead and reach those arms behind you and just make small intentional circles here like a golf ball. 6 one direction and 6 the other direction. Perfect. And then as you bend your elbows once again, go ahead and straighten them up towards the ceiling. You're going to bend that right elbow, go out to a T, bend it again, straight up to the ceiling. Bend the left elbow out to a T, and then return back up again. So this one's a little different. It's not necessarily going behind the body so much or behind the shoulder. It's just going to stay more in your peripheral vision. Good. We'll try that again. One more time. And bend at the left, open out to the side, and returning back in. Good. So gently release those handles and roll yourself off to the side with your roller, and then place that on the floor. We're going to walk ourselves back so that we have our elbows bent, and grab that roll-up bar, and then finding your legs over the roll-up bar behind the knees, so create traction. So those springs are just going to hang to lets our body relax into it. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and tap our toes towards the mat and then lift our knees up towards us. So this will feel really nice if you have some tightness in your low back. It'll help to elongate that area as we do our little taps here. Again, find a comfortable breath pattern for yourself. And I like to keep my elbows bent here just to feel a deeper stretch through the chest. You can always have your arms beside you. And then from here, little typewriters. So the knees over the hips, and just carefully just focus on your legs, your knees, just going off to the right side as they drift, and then they drift back to the left side. So again, think of a typewriter, think of back in the day with those word processors, as they basically go from left to right. And then we'll combine it. So add circles here off to the right, drop those toes down, take it all the way to the left-hand side, circle it around, doing about 5 or 6 in one direction, 5 or 6 in the opposite direction. Just massaging out through that low back, stretching out through those hips, glutes and hamstrings. And when you're ready, take it to the other side to reverse. Beautiful. And when you're ready, you'll come right back through the center here, and we'll carefully remove that bar out from underneath our knees here. If you also want to take a moment just to hang out in this position, you're more than welcome to. So from this next exercise, we're going to go ahead and take it into a standing arm series. And we're going to move our handles, so those long yellow springs are going to go to the very top of the eyelet. I would recommend your height, so it's more shoulder level for you. And then grabbing both of those handles when you're ready, facing away from the tower unit. Your feet are parallel, hip distance apart. We're going to go ahead out to a T, windmill those arms over to the right, hold center, and then over to the left. Now the goal here is to really focus on your arms being airplane wings. This lateral flexion is occurring from your hips, so the torso is the one that's moving, not your arms. So if you feel like your arms are going up and down, take a moment to pause, and maybe your torso just feels tight, so the range of motion will be smaller. And we're doing about 5 each way here. Drop those down, rest your arms and your shoulders, and walk it out larger than hip distance apart here. Arms back up to that T position, slight tension, and again we go. So moving from left to right, right to left. If you're getting any low back discomfort here, tuck your tailbone under, squeeze with those glutes a tiny bit. It just could be that your hips are rolling forward too much. Energize those fingers as they reach from wall to wall. Again, 5 each way. I'm going to move myself back here just so that it's not too heavy for this next exercise. Elbows in next to the body, We're going to go in through punches with rotation. So rotate to the left here, extend that arm out in front of you. So it's going across the midline. Just feel that nice rotational stretch through the spine. And it's okay that the hips go with the torso, go with the arms. So everything is just squared towards one angle. And it's about 5 each way here. Whatever feels good for your body or what it needs for today. And then return back in. So let's take those palms, look up at the ceiling. We're going to open out to the side, rotate. So arms are straight. So you are going to feel the work here in those shoulders as you maintain that resistance. As you rotate, you're going to feel that weight decrease. And again, it's not just we're moving the head, really make sure that the shoulders are rotating with you on this. Let's bring it back in. Good. We're going to go into our standing elbow curl. So take your index finger and your thumb against your temple and your chin. You're going to pull your elbows in towards one another and then open them out to the side here. Keep your fingers connected to your face. Open and close, and we have 15 of these, so don't rush through it. Take your time. We're just, again, repositioning the shoulder, loosening up any tension through the back, especially your upper back. And if your elbows don't touch, don't worry about it. Do the best you can, and as you continue with this type of exercise, you'll see the progression as your shoulders begin to loosen up. Breathe at your own normal pace. Good. And this whole standing arm series can definitely be done without the tower springs. Let's finish it here with a roll down. So just stretch into it. Feel those hamstrings once again. Restack your spine. Good. Feel that tension through the springs. Reach and press down, shifting your weight forward if you can without losing your balance. Good, let's try that one more time. We reach and articulate. Restack your spine up one by one. Perfect. Let's come down to a kneeling position and we're going to go into a deep hip flexor stretch. So take your left foot forward, place your knee over your ankle, bend at your elbows, arms are beside you. Just feel that stretch here. And if it feels okay, reach those arms up towards the ceiling. Just feel the pull against those springs as you allow your body to go into a slight extension as we again stretch deep into the hip flexor. You should feel this in the front of your right hip. Now bend your elbows and then just carefully rotate to the right here, but feel your left hand pressing into that handle. Do you feel that resistance? So you should feel like your left shoulder is stretching a little bit as you make this rotational twist. And then go ahead and come out of it carefully and switch. If that's too much for your shoulders, feel free to eliminate anything with the arms here. But as we switch, right knee is over the ankle, pitch your body slightly forward. Arms up towards the ceiling. Nice deep breath here. Just as you exhale, just allow your body to sink a little deeper. And then when you're ready, we'll go ahead and bend those elbows next to your sides. We're going to rotate to the left here, really pressing into that right handle, releasing pressure off your left handle. Yes. So feel that deepen into the right shoulder and then also in front of your left hip. And that should feel pretty nice right there. Good. Let's go ahead and relax there. And we're going to go ahead, lie ourselves down on our back for our hip circles. So once you are in the center of your mat, find your loops, place them around the arch of your feet. And then if you like arms beside you, feel free to do that. If you like hands hanging on to the tower unit, that is also another option. So we're just going to go into some tick-tocks where you're going to lower and lift the legs here and stay in parallel. Lowering those legs to the point where you feel like if you go any further, your back is going to lift up. Beautiful. Just hinge from those hips, it's like your legs are growing out of your hip sockets here. So doing the best you can to really open up from those hips and then go into a nice large circle if that feels good. Stretch through those inner thighs. Lubricate through the hip joints. We're creating mobility here at those hip sockets. So anywhere from 5 to 6 repetitions. And just focus on your breath as you quiet your mind. Reverse your circle when you're ready. And as you work independently through each of these loops, really focus on how much pressure you're putting in to each of the loops here. Good. All the way back up to the top. And sweep and circle around. Let's go ahead and drop the right leg, bend that left knee in towards the chest. Come up through the center, bend that right knee, drop that left leg out, and switch. And just alternate at your own steady pace. Perfect. And feel free to do a turned out position here if that feels nice for you. If it feels like it's getting deeper into your hip flexor, just let your toes turn outward. And then let's go in for your opening. So just nice and slow. Reach out to the sides here. Just go in for that deep side split where those inner thighs get to stretch. Good. Just open out nice and wide and return. And when you're ready, take that Buddha stretch. So soles of your feet come together, knees fall off to the side. And just take this moment to listen to what your body is telling you as you soften your mind and your breath. So let's carefully take that left loop out of the foot. And then we're going to slide our body all the way to the very right side of our mat. Once you're ready, keep your right knee bent and it's going to go on the outside of the wooden frame, deepening that quad stretch here. So your thigh is looking up at the ceiling, and if you want more, bring your right heel towards your hip. And just breathe. When you're ready to go to the next side, you'll take your loop out, slide your body over, and then place your foot into that loop. Again, carefully bend that left knee and just on the outside of that wooden frame, shine that thigh up towards the ceiling. Very nice. So when you're ready to come out of there, go ahead and bring your leg up carefully. And then we'll go ahead and take our foot out of that loop and set it down. So turning around towards the tower unit, go ahead and kneel, and we'll go into a hamstring stretch. So let's place your left foot on top of that push through bar and extend it out to a straight leg. And you're in charge here. So just going into these tiny pulses just to really contract and open up through that hamstring here. Anywhere from 10 to 15 little pulses. And then bend that knee to come in, and we'll do an inner thigh stretch here too. So same idea, little tiny pulses as you stretch out through the inner thigh. And then bending that knee to return back in. And we'll do the other side. So right toes are going to go on. Hang on to that tower unit. Stretch it forward. Tiny little pulses. Good. And then return back in. Just turn. And little pulses for that inner thigh. And feel free to stay longer if there is a position that feels better for you. And then from here, we're going to go into our mermaid stretch. So I'm attaching the blue spring, which is basically a half spring, to the very top of the tower unit. I'm taking my roll down bar all the way to the floor, and then taking the push through bar and attaching the blue spring to that eyelet. So have a seat on your tower unit to the side, feet are planted and grounded to the floor, and just take that nice stretch all the way over. As you breathe and open up those ribs, shine those ribs up towards the ceiling here. Reaching your bicep over your ear. And then let's go ahead and reverse it as you press up. Deep breath, dive it through. Just feel your ribs reaching towards the ceiling, and then think about your left hip pushing down into the mat here to create opposition. And then if this feels good, go ahead and rotate the body. Open up those hands a little wider. And then return all the way in. Let's flip to the other side. Left hand is on, nice deep stretch. Again, think of your right hip pressing into the mat. A couple more times like this. Good, just focus on your breath. And let's try that one more time. And then this one, if you'd like to add rotation, feel free to add rotation here, widening your hand grip, shoulders drop down and back. And carefully return back up to the top. Beautiful job. So I'm coming to my knees here. If you need a knee pad, grab one. And then this is a shell position where the feet are together but the knees are apart. Just going in for a nice deep child's pose stretch here. Again, I'm aiming for shoulder extension. So be very careful if your shoulders are not ready to go deep into extension here. Good. Nice deep breath as you round out the spine. Press that bar up. Think of flattening out the back into slight extensions. So think of your cat stretch here. And then let's add rotation. So right hand to the left hand, dive all the way through. Return yourself back up, reach on up, push your chest forward. Through center, taking both hands over to the right side, dive it all the way through. Shoulders down and back. Return back up, press towards the ceiling, bring your chest forward. Perfect. Let's go ahead and finish it with our roll downs today. So hip distance apart there with the feet. Take a moment and sweep the arms up towards the sky, round down, fingertips towards the toes, and just allow yourself to check in with your body and how you're feeling. Shoulders down and back. Thank you guys for watching. Again, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, feel free to check out some of those other videos and hit a thumbs up button if you liked it, and we'll see you next time.